Hello and thanks for joining me. I'm going to be going over some simple Easter cookie decorating tips. I've got all my icing colors lined up here. I have a damp paper towel. I have some toothpicks, and that's really all you need to get started. So I'm going to start with this purple color. And I cut just a small piece off of the end of it. And I'm gonna flood my cookie. So I'm gonna start by making a circle around the edges. I don't wanna go all the way to the edge, because then it gets kind of messy if you're trying to move the cookie around. Okay, I made my rough circle, and now I'm just gonna fill in the middle. I do circles however you wanna do it. Back and forth or zigzags, doesn't really matter. Get it all filled in. All the way to the edges. And go back in and squiggle it around. And then I can take my icing bag and use it to kind of smooth over that part where it's kind of not even. And I'm gonna pick my cookie up and I'm gonna give it some shakes and some taps. That just kind of helps even out the icing and make sure there's no air bubbles. So that's one cookie flooded. I'm gonna come back to that in a little bit. Now I'm gonna do a bunny, and I'm gonna make some polka dots on it. So you'll need your colored icing, and then you'll need to open your white flood icing. I'm gonna cut just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit off the end of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and flood this cookie just like I did the other one. So I'm gonna make my outline. I'm gonna go fill it in. The ears. Flood icing is pretty forgiving. If you don't get it all the way, you just kind of go back in and ooge it over. Adjust it to where you want it to be. Okay, I'm gonna give my cookie a shake, get it all evened out. And then to do polka dots, I'm gonna take that white icing and I'm just gonna pipe, how you guys can see, some circles. Just little drops wherever you want them to be. This kind of a technique is called wet on wet. So you're using two different kinds of wet icing. And then just like at the beginning, I'm gonna give it some shakes and some taps so that that texture evens out. And there's my little polka dots. Kind of cute, huh? Now I'm going to do the same technique, but I'm going to make some hearts. So I'm gonna switch icing colors just because I want to. This pretty turquoise. Gonna flood it. Brief pause to get my macarons out of the oven. Back to filling this cookie in. Okay. Shake, shake, shake. to even it out. And I'm gonna start with polka dots. I'm gonna do shake it to even it out. Then you're gonna need a toothpick and your paper towel. And you're gonna just drag down from the top of the toothpick to the bottom, or the top of the circle to the bottom. And in between, you wipe your toothpick off on your paper towel. And it makes little heart shapes. You got to work kind of quickly when you do these, because if you give the icing a chance to start to set, it won't dry with that nice, smooth, hard finish. So there's some little hearts on the bunny, kind of cute. One more little shake just to make sure it's even. So you can do similar techniques on a cookie. Another favorite kind of design of mine is to do chevrons. So we'll get this cookie flooded. There's really no rhyme or reason to how I flood a cookie. Kind of scatterbrained and all over the place, just like me. And all those little spots filled in. Okay, and then shake it again. And to do a chevron pattern, you're going to take your white icing and you're going to just pipe some thin white lines all across the cookie. Don't have to be perfect because we're going to mess it up in a second anyway. Fill that in. Again, a little shake to smooth it out. And get your trusty toothpick. I'm going to turn mine sideways because it's easier. And you're going to drag some lines down, going one way. Yep, I went a little too deep on that one. And then you're going to drag some going up the other way. And give it another little shake to smooth out the texture. Cute little chevron lines. You can even try some flowers, or they kind of look like roses if you want to be super fancy. So I'm going to flood this little bunny guy in. Just remember, when you're working with wet on wet icing, you gotta work fast. Okay, shake and tap to smooth it out. I'm gonna do start the same way as polka dots. Smooth it out. And these are kind of abstract, so you just kind of start swirling it around, kind of in a circle. Definitely bring some of the color into the middle and swirl it to kind of make a rosebud shape. Just kind of swirling it around. Kind of just look like a opening rosebud. Not as easy to see on these colors, but it still makes a nice effect on the background. Yeah. Okay, so this cookie has had a little bit of time to dry, and I'm going to take my bag of piping icing and cut a really small hole in the end. This icing is thicker, so it's going to hold its shape better. And I'm going to use it to kind of draw some decorative stuff onto, pardon me while I size my watch, onto the cookie. So it really is a fun chance to just kind of be creative. And let's see, I'm going to do what I've been doing with my Easter cookies I've been making for people this month. So this icing will not really spread. My hole needs to be a little bit bigger. That's why that is doing that. It holds its shape really well, and you can just kind of use it to draw, which is kind of fun. Let's see. And just kind of use your imagination. You need to make sure your bottom cookie is nice and dry before you start drawing on top of it. It'll dry up enough in a couple of hours to draw on it. I wouldn't stack it or put other things on top of it or be rough with it until it's sat out, probably at least overnight to dry. So again, I'm just kind of, you can look on the internet for, Easter egg cookie decorating ideas and see what you like, see what design you might like to try. And just have fun with it. I'm gonna do some squiggles over here and some dots. Let's see here. And like with everything, I've been doing this a long time, so I'm pretty comfortable working with icing. And just, do your best. Don't freak out about it. The point is to have fun. And then at the end, you still have a delicious cookie to enjoy. Okay, so there's another decorated egg. You can also use this to maybe give your bunny a little tail. I'm just going to kind of pipe a couple of layers of little loops and give him kind of a fluffy bunny tail. It's kind of cute. I think this guy needs a tail too. There you go. I like that tail better. Cute little cottontail.